On May 10th, South Korea will welcome its 20th president. Before the big day comes, let's take a walk back through how previous leaders have been sworn into office. Here's Shin Ye-eun with the details.
74 years ago, South Korea welcomed its first ever president, Rhee Syng-man.
국회는 초대 대통령의 이승만 박사, 부통령의 이시영 의원을 선출.
Lee came into office just 3 years after South Korea was liberated from colonial Japan. Accordingly, his inauguration ceremony was held where the Japanese General Government's building used to stand. Lee stayed in office until 1960. Yoon Bo-sun became the fourth president of South Korea and was in office until 1962. He was replaced by Park Chung-hee, who had the longest term in office. Park had a total of 5 inauguration ceremonies before he was assassinated in 1979. His position was temporarily filled by Choi Kyu-ha, who became South Korea's 10th president. But less than a year later, Chun Doo-hwan took over following a military coup. He came into office via indirect election at sports stadiums nationwide and accordingly held both his inauguration ceremonies at Chamsil Arena in Seoul. It was only from President Roh Tae-woo when South Korean civilians were able to vote for their own president. Also, the amended constitution limited a president to just one term of 5 years. As inauguration ceremonies became pillars of South Korea's newfound democracy, they started taking place in front of the National Assembly.
새로운 시대의 개막을 선언하기 위해서 성스러운 이 민의의 전당 앞에 모였습니다.
The 14th president, Kim Young-sam, who emphasized the importance of civilians working with the government, invited regular people to attend the ceremony.
오늘 탄생되는 정부는 민주주의에 대한 국민의 불타는 열망과 거룩한 희생으로
Kim Dae-jung came into office when the IMF crisis hit Korea. During his inauguration speech, he promised to bring the country out of economic hardship.
국민 여러분은 나라의 위기를 극복하기 위해 금모으기에 나섰습니다. 이미 20억 달러가 넘는 금을 모아주셨습니다.
As Korea developed both economically and politically, the following 3 presidents, Roh Moo-hyun, Lee Myung-bak, and Park Geun-hye, invited more civilians to their inauguration ceremonies. A total of 60,000 were invited. South Korea's 19th president, Moon Jae-in, didn't have a grand ceremony as he took office hurriedly after the impeachment of Park Geun-hye. Instead of speaking in front of a crowd, he made a pledge in front of the National Assembly. Now attention turns to the incoming president Yoon Suk-yeol and his inauguration ceremony, which takes place on Tuesday, May 10th. Shin Ye-eun, Arirang News.